Battlefield of Eternity. Team Freedom now gets to opt into first pick or the map choice with second pick. And they chose first pick. Team 8 will take us to Braxis Holdout. It's sort of a new pick for them. They only recently started to pick more of Braxis Holdout, but then again, they only recently started to pick more than one battleground as they actually started to lose series.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, they never really had the opportunity to be able to do that, and so...
Well, I guess they would have been picking it quite a lot, so I don't know. Yeah, they were just switching over more.
It depends. You know, the opponent gets to choose
Yeah.
because they were pretty much top-decking Wrecking at the very opening of HGC North America, but here we are, Braxis Holdout. What are we going to see when it comes to bans? Freedom here. Is it going to be, you know, are they going to remove of the Zarya here this early on? Is it going to be a task? Or are they going to let it through and, you know, force the hand of maybe Team 8?
I'm looking at Team 8 a bit more, and actually the only time they were first pick on here. Oh no, never mind, I'm on Braxis.
Yeah.
I'm fine, we're fine. Yeah, so it was recent, it was versus Deventic. Team 8.
He's through.
Banned Zarya, Team Freedom banned Malfurion. Will they pick the Miracle task right here, right now?
Or is it the Ragnaros? I really hope it's the tasks that are purely for the sake of making changes. That is more than anything in this world I want to see that from them. And we got baited and outsmarted. Do you just task Ragnaros?
Yes. Task Morales was my other suggestion.
You just deny both of the dreams and then leave them. They have the opportunity. That actually, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a huge power play for Team 8 in the draft. Dropping the Ragnaros here, putting out those two. There's so many duos, so much energy, so much dominance in the format. You can put any damage there, and it's going to be able to surpass that. As long as you have somebody to baby up there in the top lane, you are going to be in a fine position. So,
almost certainly Team Freedom will ban Gul'dan then.
A great destiny.
Right?
You think? I don't know. It could be the Zul'jin. We've got the Zul'jin prep here for Team 8.
I don't know. After seeing Task Morales Gul'dan from Gale Force Esports versus Tempo.
It is pretty gross when they go Q build. That's a good point that you bring up there. Either way, no matter what ban it draws, right now Team 8 is just living the dream when it comes to options here into the draft. The Ariel pickup, that high up with the Vala.
Here we go again.
Are we going?
How was it?
It was actually pretty good.
Yes.
I haven't heard that one yet. That was a good one. So they banned the Zul'jin. They're hovering. Do you...
I don't know.
Can you Gul'dan and Chromie in the same game? Is that even legal? I would much rather just see the Sylve edition.
Yeah, I think they do the Gul'dan Sylve.
But... All right, Zul'jin's off the table. Where does Team 8 move? I think the Gul'dan's a must. It's just whether or not they look to try and punish the lack of cleanse.
I don't think they'll Gul'dan Sylve anyway, though, because they still need a warrior and somebody to be in the top. And that gets
You can put Tass there and be fine. If it truly complements your composition, you could just solo Tass there. He is a really solid placeholder.
Yeah, and you know they're gonna win
the 4, so it should be a forgiving, you know, position. But they waited out. They go with the Ragnaros Johanna, so I'm pretty confident that last pick is in fact that Gul'dan. Freedom though, they have, you know, they've got the variant into the 4. They've got an Ariel. Risky follow-up, not nearly as good as Malfurion. It exists, but it's not as good, just purely based on location of the stun to be able to hit the wall. Vala is a follow-up, so not that great a burst. They don't have the best kill potential. They know their opponent's top laner is going to be the Ragnaros, which they just really don't want in Artanis.
I think it's going to be Dahaka.
It's banned,
yeah.
so never mind. I'm really glad that's going to be the case. So, yeah, Dahaka would make the most sense. Or Sonya.
Oh, they're going to go their Sonya route again.
Sonya into the Ragnaros when it comes to the matchup.
The hunt is on.
What if you just Lunara over the Gul'dan?
Oh. So
is that worth?
Are we leaping striking again?
Yeah, I think we're leaping striking again. But is that, and we double support it again? I didn't even look at that again. I have so many questions and so little answers.
Brightwing Ariel. They keep being this last Brightwing that I don't even like. It doesn't.
It doesn't even register. It's happened so often at this point that I don't know who's been bodying nerds with double support on Braxis Holdout in the North American scene, but whoever it is, I commend you because you have
Psalm did say not with Morales. It's not with Morales this time. It is actually the old school tempo one. It's Ariel Brightwing.
Yeah, it is Ariel Brightwing, which is definitely going to be more successful than the Morales, but we're still yet to see any variation of this duel.
You are
just
correct.
loses every time. It doesn't lose hard. It just loses a little bit and a little bit, just like you would with like a Falset or Zeratul who just gusts every time thinking it ugly. It just slowly loses. So I can see why it feels good, but I'm still not convinced at all when it comes to these drafts. Maybe this is the moment. Freedom's got it, but
it's like having a diet food of your favorite dessert, right? A diet version. It's like almost there, but it's just not quite enough.
Exactly. You can taste the like low fat in it. You're just this isn't the full chocolate bar I was looking for, you know? It's just just getting bits and pieces here. The number one thing we got to be looking for in this comp, as always, in double support, is the supporting trade-off, keeping their health bar significantly higher than the damage output of the opposite side. And so far, I don't know how many times it's been ran. I know it's more than 3 at this point. I think it's 5 in total. This is the 5th, and it is 0 for 4.
Braxis continues to be an anomaly for us. First, we were confused by Zul'jin. Now we're confused.
The Artanis was everywhere at first. That one blew my mind because I was like, hey, what do you do with the Zerg Rush here? He's died out a little bit, even though he did draw advantage of this. Then we got the double support rising up. It has just been all over the place. And it's been fun at times, you know? The double support's a little frustrating to watch because it just slowly you're like, oh, when are they going to turn this? But maybe this is the moment. Maybe this is it.
Maybe it is. We're ready for the game.
Resurrection. Something crazy. Bring it out.
All right, let's see it. I vote Leap. Leap sounds good to me.
None of those things.
I'm just trying to throw it out there just in case. What about Leap?
You know, last time we saw Sonya picked up, they lost before they hit 10. I'm not trying to be
Freedom
rude.
was the one who won that game.
And the most important thing here is the fact that we see a double B step coming out very early on. At least Freedom was comfortable establishing dominance on their territory. They just got to really have the follow-up at this point.
Meanwhile, it's just the back-and-forth stutter-stepping of Glaurung playing Lunara.
The most embarrassing thing about this entire situation honestly comes down to the fact that we see, you know, that Wonder Billy there with Morales. I don't think the Skinnergy duo, when it comes to Morales and the Wonder Billy, is maybe as good as some of the other heroes.
Would you give it more like a 6.5 out of 10 on a scale of? All right.
Yeah, probably a little bit closer to that.
What about Ariel riding a rooster, Lunar Rooster?
Not too big of a fan of that one either.
All right, well, we'll keep trying. Keep trying, Teammate and Team Freedom.
I mean,
I know you can make Dread proud.
Have you ever seen that with the Tempest mount? Oh, so good. So good. Never forget. Either way, we're sitting here on Braxis Holdout. Things are getting weird as always. We do see Q build coming out so far for the Ariel. Brightwing, first support to make an adjustment to go offensive in the double support. That being said, Brightwing's about mid-tier in the world of building a support offensive. How effective are they? Probably in order, it goes Karazim, then I want to say Malf, even above the Brightwing, then Brightwing. Just Moonbird build.
What about Tyrande?
She doesn't count.
I do this just
the same way Tassadar doesn't. They don't count.
I know.
Medivh is more of a support than Tass.
Poor Tyrande, she counts.
I mean,
she's a hero too.
Yeah, she is. She's just a ranged assassin. It's just how my brain works. But for now, the laning phase here, neither team has really seemed to gain the upper hand. It does feel like, oddly enough, Freedom is just doing this a 1-3-1 where they just rotate all day.
Yeah, and Teammate are the ones just are trying to respond where they can. With Madison, last time this rotation came in, got hit by a detainment strike, but was A-okay. This is allowing, Sulfurous. Hunger. Strong from Prismaticism. Glaurung playing Lunara.
Yeah, it's it's once in a while we see Glaurung on some more rare heroes, I guess, you know. He added the Medivh to his arsenal, more popular, but we did see in week 1, he said, my team had so broken of drafts that I got to play heroes I was uncomfortable on and we could still win. We'll see if they can do it here. I feel confident with it.
Definitely feels more like Leaping Strike knowing that Glau's playing Lunar though.
It in general, into a double support, the number one thing you need is kill potential, not damage, like not raw damage. And legitimately, Thornwood Vine, probably the worst heroic almost in the entire game to confirming a kill. That being said, Glaurung's positioning very aggressive there. No Warbringer yet, so no follow-up. There's going to be the healing beam across the board, and Zamia there with the heals, the double support. yet again struggling here with the just damage output of Glarong alone. Just solo Glarong. Praxis holdout is the map of supports, I've learned.
Level 4 here for both the teams. We'll see if that changes anything. Arcane Barrage to add to Dream Shot. Battle for the globes commences.
We see Ariel still going with the Q build, so the original kind of build there. At 7, I still think it's going to be cooldown.
Yeah, it generally is with it, but you see the 1 and 4, I think, a lot too when you want to get Blinding Flash at 13, and they have good for blind.
Yeah, the speed is really necessary to gain
Yeah.
value out of that without just like, you know, you throw out those whips and then you're like, man, these are really slow. I'm out of position, you know, and you're just dead, even though you got the blind off if you aren't looking to go that direction. So yeah, we'll still probably see that. Brightwing did go offensive, but again, she, like I said, her offensive build is more of like, hey, I'm better at 1v1ing. It's like when it comes to solo laner and clearing the minion waves, not when it comes to, I just killed a, you know, Glarong by myself. Look at that, Q didn't even take out the Tassadar shield and a hit in the center. There's a chase from Glarong. The slow consisting, and teammate here slightly kind of pulling ahead when it comes to the Zerg rush.
Wow, getting very aggressive here, chasing down Insomnia, pushing him all the way back, making him take the farthest rotation to help in the bottom lane that he possibly can. And it bought his team time to get the top beacon. So teammate still maintaining control of one of the beacons, slightly ahead in progress. With Collusion and Zugrug moving in, this is a little bit of time that Team Freedom can get some more before teammate takes bottom.
Sorry, it's taken a lot for me to try and understand this. Not just the comp itself, because we've seen the double support, and every time we've seen double support before this point, it's been committed to a 4-man.
Yeah, the rotations are very interesting.
And so now that we see this attempted rotation, I think I like it. But again, I like it because it's doing a good job of making this game not snowball. Take a minute, hold on. There's going to be the taunt. Justing is getting body blocked to death 100% on the Zerg Rush. Buds with the healing being has enough, and in the end, Glarong alone has enough damage output to threaten this double support. But yeah, so what the rotations did is it stopped losing the 4 that convincingly. So maybe, you know, maybe that's going to be a tool to help them not fall so far behind. Maybe that's been the problem we've seen in all the double supports before. Hopefully that's been the problem that we've seen in these games.
But they need to make sure that they don't get too far behind so that they can continue to aggressively dictate the rotations then, because if teammate gets too much done with the Zerg Rush, they're going to get quite far ahead in experience as they start to try to siege down this bottom 4.
Especially considering the fact that Vala is their only wave clear when Sonya is not going to be there, and she's too considered about not getting bodied into the 1v1. It's pretty much just free reign for Glarong throughout this entire game. You know, having the Tassadar and the Mirage, and just so little damage on the opposite side, he is going to have a heyday here. Cleanse is picked up for Brightwing.
Actually a little bit of a build change for Ariel, getting Empathic Link at 20, or at 7, which gives 20% of damage taken by allies.
As hope.
More hope, yeah. So just trying to do what she can to get through and keep her team healed up, as you can see through the damage that Glarong and Tassadar, but mainly Glarong, has been able to throw out. It's a little scary for me to see that, considering the fact that Lunara, as you get further along into the game, that poison gets worse.
Yeah, it's... I can't help but feel like that build, I'm trying again to wrap my head around double support and why it comes out. And especially with this version, with that Empathic Link, and the Brightwing moving into that kind of offensive, maybe it's a little bit of the idea of, you know, we see the Task Morales, it's like an alternative version, you know, have that target up, have the hat on top of them. They take so much damage. Brightwing's there for the soft heals. I've got the big ones later on. And with that, mixed with the pixie dust coming out from Brightwing, you know, Vala can be as bold as maybe Lunara may be able to be. But it does seem like that's a bit of a stretch.
So when you look at Empathic Link over having cooldown reduction on your Ray of Heaven,
yeah,
is it looking more at making sure you have a giant heal?
You have
versus continued heals?
If you use the micro, you usually don't have enough. So you have to time it perfectly to where your opponents, it's actually really weird. They have to do enough damage to where your burst can actually counter the momentum of the fight a lot. The same way you would with like an Ancestral. Because if you use it even too early, like this would be a fine point, obviously, because it's max. But if in the middle of a fight an engagement happens, you have to wait until they're almost dead. Otherwise, you don't have the necessary cooldown timer. Without that other 7 with the cooldown, you know, you can't just risk throwing out your hope as you have it. You have to use almost above a 50% mark. Otherwise, the cooldown's so long, the target will die or force an Aegis out of you or, you know, whatever Brightwing's going to move into, which I'm guessing is our Emerald Win. What if we Emerald?
It has been Emerald Win.
Yeah, what if we Emerald Win and then we just resurrect on top? Like, you just win them away and then you got that res because nobody can touch because you're just blowing them away. But I mean, even if you bring them back to life, like, honestly, what's that going to do when you don't have any DPS?
We're about to find out what
I
they
know
wanna
I'm throwing out
choose.
crazy ideas. I'm just genuinely this confused, so I'm trying to come up with answers. There's the Leaping Strike. Asmus is going to be fine. It's still Aegis. We see Blink Heal. Full double supporting the offensive build on the Brightwing. My goodness.
Now we see if those two can sustain through the damage. We haven't even seen a full 5v5 team fight yet. It's just been dealing with the constant poisons from Glaurung, and they did get through both charges of Leaping Strike on Bala. So in that instance, maybe it'll be enough.
It may be able to, but again, it's not like they're putting counter pressure on Team 8, you know? They're not dying, again. Look
Right.
at, like, but like, it's nobody on Team 8. Glaurung is up in their faces, and nobody on Team 8's like, I'm having a bad time. Bud's is sitting at max mana going like, bros, when are you gonna put DPS in the Glock? Because I'm like, ready. Like, I'm ready to drop a cleanse at any moment. Give me this pressure. Like, let me show you that micro. It's just, you know what I mean? And it's just a rinse and repeat. But I want to remain optimistic. I'm going to do my absolute best. This is one of those moments where Dread slowly loses his mind, sees the same pattern over and over again, and tries to find the answer otherwise.
Meanwhile, through this entire discussion, there's been a little bit of a Zerg rush happening.
Yeah.
And teammate, again, gets the full brunt, the full force of the Zerg as they
Look at that damage.
just push down the floor.
And they're healing it up, but again, it's just... Okay, we'll find out, though. The one thing I would like to know, I don't know how I feel about that Blink Heal. Because the initial thought is, like, with the Blink Heal, it provides more, you know, burst healing, more healing overall, but it loses the passive healing. And in the long run, grouped as 5, with Ariel making up for the burst healing, the passive healing loss might actually not be a winning trade when it comes to builds overall. That, don't hold me to it, but that's my first thought there. Taunt comes out onto the backline, Buds! The Aegis is going to be used, so Pure smash perfectly timed. This looks like it's going to be a full-on wipe here as Freedom's HP is no longer going to exist. Not enough support here.
Zug's chasing down Buds, but Glaurung's there to help out. Buds turns around, gets a kill on Varian too. And with those kills, Team 8 now, where they might not have been able to get a keep, are going to take down the first keep of the game here, level 13 to level 11, 3 kills to nothing. There's no Molten Core here to be able to take over with Prismaticism too. Team 8 well in control of this game now.
Yeah, and I mean, look at that. They're 4-0 on the map. They're being so successful, yet to be able to lose a game. The 2-level lead. They're even looking towards core here. They could look to all in. That would not be, you know, one of those worth trades if they did so. They would have to get a couple of picks.
Medevac to boss though.
Yeah, that's a good point. They have the opportunity. But it looks like they're just gonna, you know, stumble on towards the bot lane as the Guardians get cleared up. Or no party scrub yet. No, you know, teammates not as much on the party game as maybe Temple Storm was in the first part of the day.
We can't all be as party hardies as Tempo Storm.
Yeah, no, I mean those guys, they just go in. They know how to have a good time, and you can't judge them for that. You know, they find the right scrub.
They always have the best party scrubs.
And the best part about it is they're willing to invite others. You know, it's not they're not going to keep all the fun to themselves. They're willing to. They're looking out for you. Cam now going to be picking up the stolen eyes set towards the bottom fort with 13 talents here not even available. Still for Freedom. We didn't get the leap. Sorry.
Oh, there's the Leaping Strike. Justin's is polyed, so no Blessed Shield follow-up.
There's a, you know, a large amount of damage put out onto collusion there onto the Brightwing, and they're just going to siege up. It looks like they're looking for the trade. Oh, please don't back out, Freedom. Oh, that's such a bad trade. They're going to lose this front wall 100%. They would have been at least being willing to, you know, they would lose some HP on the keep, but at least they gained something out of it. Now they're going to be risking losing just this keep in general from the raw poke on the opposite side of the map.
Watch how Team Freedom push in here too, because if they continue to chase, now that they have 13, teammate can pull them right back into Prismaticism, taking and using Molten Core. Actually just checking the flank, sees that Sonya is starting to move down. Dansky is here ready to join the rest of the team.
This is the best fight Freedom's ever going to get, and they go for it. There's going to be the engage, no follow-up on the taunt.
Here comes Prismat.
Prismat. Oh, they're so clumped. Is that a still pure smash Dream? They're going to be patient.
Give a push back into their base. They're not soaking, letting Team 8 try to get to 16. They can continue to pressure the keep.
Has anybody on the side of Team 8 fallen below like 90% HP for the past 5 minutes? It is just ridiculous.
We can look at the quest talents while the beacons get set up for that. Kadarian Resonance for Tassadar is almost, it's over the halfway point now, so they do have the half shields persisting. Team Freedom, again, want to get a fight. They know that they are down a keep. They have Brightwing in the top soaking that lane, but they have to do something, and they understand that. Now, before they're down 13 to 16 talent here, they find a taunt onto Glaurung. Cleanse comes out. In comes Prismaticism off to the side. Yoda is used Archon, yep, down in the bottom. The damage goes down. It's Nazmus who is the focus of Lunara and the Archon, but this whole time the supports have been dealing with the back line, and the front line is what is eliminated from Prismaticism, Sulfurous Smash.
Yeah, Justin there is going to get the cleanup onto Nazmus as he's on full retreat. Oh, can the Burning Rage? He's got it. You know, going to throw, I forgot, we agreed it's a mace, but somebody tweeted at me telling me the accurate name for it. I don't remember what it was.
It's a Morning Star, right?
Is it? I don't remember the exact name, but I remember I got lessoned up. Obviously, it didn't stick too well. I remember there was a tweet, but either way, yeah, that's going to be getting the kill here. Boss is going to rotate it out. And this is really just teammates' game to lose. I don't see any compositionally how Freedom can recover from this point. A 2-level deficit, down a keep. They've got a boss. They've got the Zerg Rush. I mean, this is probably just the game even right now, 14 minutes into the game. Just because the boss and the Zerg Rush are going to be stacked, it's not looking good.
The faster teammate takes down this keep, the faster that Prismaticism can take it over and start putting real damage in, as well as the Zerg Rush. They're using the Zerglings on it. Prismaticism is in position, takes over immediately. Watch for the swing. He's going to throw out his Molten Swing. Who does it hit? Hits Nazmus. Everyone from Team Freedom starting to jump in as if they could get a kill onto Glaurung. That would be key, but Glaurung playing patiently, waiting for the right place to strike.
Yeah, the taunt intent happened. Sulfurous Smash was negated there by the Aegis, but look at the HP. Freedom just doesn't have the tools here. The core, 30, 20. Even if they had been successful, this is going to be a Team 8 taking game number 2 here on Braxis Holdout.
Another convincing win for Team 8, even more so than game number 1, too. So starting to go into their stride in full, but Team 8 looking like they are going to be a great representative for NA at the Western Clash.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting with the the youth of the players, and then also Glaurung is one that's been around for a very long time. His international experience has only been relatively recent, and it's only been kind of that one time. Whereas most of the players that have gone international have been multiple. So getting him back there, what lessons learned, if it shows for the team, and being a strong leader for the group with that experience.
But Team Freedom, they have started to make some draft changes. It was the double support, didn't work out for them, but they're not out of the series yet.
I mean, that's a good point. I asked for draft changes. At least they made them. Obviously, maybe not my favorite direction, but at least they did make those adjustments. It's better than maybe picking the comfortability and keep going over and over again. That game didn't work out. Maybe the next changes will.
We'll see it just that. We're going to go to a break. When we return, we'll have game number 3.
An adventure. I mean, have you seen this Nexus place? There's limitless worlds to explore. Constantly. New things to see. Ew. Sure, there's danger too. What's an adventure without a little action? Oh, I can help with that. I am the Storm Scout after all. And for Storm Scouts, life is an adventure.
The most important thing I've learned in all my journeys is balance. work and play, good and bad, right and wrong, honor, tradition, a good brew, and most especially, family. These are the things that bring me balance. These are the things I fight for.
Oh, let's break it down!
If we win a Western Clash, then I'm happy, but for me to be truly satisfied, I would need to win a Global Championship.
I think the unique feature in our team is the fact that we come up with a lot of new strategies and we kind of create our own meta.